Hi everyone, it's Narelle here from the Cricut Lover's Guide to Design Space. Yesterday one of the members from our Facebook group was asking for some help with cutting a file from SVG The score lines in their files are made up of lots of small tick lines instead of a single long score line. So I have one of their sets, so I thought this was a good chance to try it out. And you can see here, this is the gift card box, and that's the one that I'm going to be working with today. But before I was able to work on the score lines, I noticed that there was another problem, and that when I was importing the file into Design Space, even though the file looked okay on the preview screen, the file was blank when I clicked Save Image. And you can see here the previous attempts that I've made to upload the file. So I have to fix that problem first. So the first thing I did was open the SVG file in Inkscape. Now Inkscape, if you're not aware, is a free SVG editing program, and you'll find the link to that program below this video. So here's my file open in Inkscape, and one thing I've noticed about the files from SVG is that they don't have any sizing information. Now according to their FAQs, there's supposed to be a PDF menu provided with the download, but I can't find it in the set that I purchased. And because everything imports into Design Space at 2.4 inches in height, I'll need to make a note of the width and height of the box while I'm here in Inkscape. So to do that, I'll click on the image, and then I'll click up on the toolbar where it says pixels, move down and select inches. So now the width and height boxes change, and it's telling me that my width is 5.5 inches and my height is 9.5 inches. And they're the measurements that I need to take a note of for Design Space. So on to fixing the import problem. First I tried resaving the file in different SVG formats. And you can see here that there's several different formats that you can choose from, but regardless of which one I chose, I still had the same problem. So then I decided to try saving it as a DXF file, and the reason that I did that was because when you go back to the vector upload screen, you have two options here, and one is SVG and the other is a DXF. So I thought that I would try that one and see if it would work. So I'll click on this button again, and I'm going to scroll down here and select this DXF. And I'll click Save, which will bring up this box. Now I don't know anything about DXF files, so I just left this as it was, and then I selected OK. So I'm finished with Inkscape now, so I'm going to exit out of that, which will bring up this error box, and it wants me to save the original SVG file again, but I don't want to do that, so I'm just going to select Close without saving. Now in Design Space, I'm going to click on the Vector Upload button and browse to find my file. So there it is, box.dxf. And now in the preview window, it shows all the scoring lines. So I'll click Save Image, and it'll appear in the Uploaded Images queue. So I can click on that and select Insert Images. So that's my first problem solved. Now I'm going to go and change the size of this box. So to do that, I'll click the Edit button, and remembering that the width was 5.5, I'll type that in. I'll click off there and then click back on it, and you can see that the height's changed to 9.5, and that's because the proportions were locked. So now to move on to the score lines, I'll move the edit box out of the way and bring the layers box over here. So you can see here that there are multiple small tick marks, and each of those tick marks has a corresponding layer in the layers box. And what I want to do is replace each line of those marks with one solid score line, and I'll use the existing score marks there as a guide while I'm creating my new ones. So I need to go and find the score line, so I click on Insert Images, and I've already loaded that in here. And in case you're not aware, every image in Design Space has an image code. And if you hover over an image, you'll find that image code here. If you type that code into the search box, it will always bring up that image. So there's my score line. I'm going to select that and click Insert Image. And there's my first score line. So I'm going to select that one, and I'm just going to place it over one of the existing lines. And I'm going to zoom in so that I can place those a little bit more easy, and line that up over that one and stretch it. So that's my first one done. So now all I need to do is press duplicate. That will give me one exactly the same size, and I can go ahead and place these on all those vertical score lines. Now if you can't get that positioned exactly, go over to the edit box, and you have in this section here for position an X and a Y measurement. So because I want to move this score line over to the right a little bit, I need to look at what's in the X box here. So I only want to move it ever so slightly, so I'm just going to change that 6 to a 7, and you can see it's just moved it over just the tiniest bit. I could probably go to 8 there, and it's perfect. So now back to select that, duplicate, and now this time I want to bring this one to the left. So it's sitting at 11, so I probably need to make that 10.98, which looks pretty good. So there my vertical score line's done. So I'm just going to select one of them. I'm going to duplicate again, which will give me this. I'll just move it over here, and I want to rotate this one so I can start doing the horizontal score lines. So I'm going to just click there on the rotate button, and then move that one up here. And if I need to change any of these up or down ever so slightly, I'm going to use the measurement that's in the Y box. So I might take that up to there, and now I'll resize that one. And duplicate, and then I'll just go through and add the rest of the score lines and change the measurements if necessary. So there's all my score lines placed, and I'll just zoom out there a little bit. And what I now want to do is group all those score lines that I've just added. So if I go to the layers box, you'll see now that I have a series of layers called score line, and they're all the ones that I've just added. So I'm going to click on the first one, hold down my shift button, and scroll down and find the last one, and again click on that one, and then I'm going to go down to the bottom of the layers box here and click group. So now all of those score lines that I've created will become one group and I can move them as a whole. Now I'm going to click anywhere else. So if I scroll down here in the layers, you can see down here are all my existing score lines that were already there. So I'm going to click on any one of those and it will select all of them because they've all been grouped. Now I'm going to click the Ungroup button and they've now all been pushed to the top of the layers box. So just like I did before on my score lines, I'm going to click the first one, hold down the Shift button and scroll down through all of these and click on the last of those score lines, which is that one there, and it will think for a little while, and then because there's so many, there's about 90 of these, it takes a little while to select them all. Now they've all gone grey, and I can go down here to the delete button, press delete, and they'll all be gone. So now what I have left are the score lines that I created plus the original, somewhere up here, this is the original outline of the box which I needed to keep. So make sure you don't delete that one. To make sure you don't delete it, what you can actually do is hide that when you go to delete other things, because once you hide something, the delete button doesn't become available. So if I can click on that, and you can see that delete's not an option. If I unhide that, the delete is now available. So that's just a little trick to help with not deleting things. So now I've got everything there. I've got the outline of my box and I've got all the new score lines. So the last thing I need to do is I need to attach those score lines to the box so that they will cut in the correct position. Because if I click go right now, you'll see the outline of the box on this layer, and then it's created a second layer which contains just all the score lines. Well, I don't obviously want that, so I'll get out of that screen. I'm going to click in here and I'll just click select all, or you can select Control A. So now everything has been highlighted, and I'll go to the top of the layers box and press attach. And now when I press go, you'll see that there will only be one layer and all the score lines are in the correct position. And it's telling you that there's a scoring layer and a cutting layer. So there you have it. That's how you fix problems like that. So I hope you found this helpful. Have a great day and happy crafting.